it's all about.
Oh, beautifully measured.
Listen to me very carefully. What you're about to hear is not just a recap of a tennis match. It is the anatomy of a sporting earthquake, a seismic shockwave that began in the sun-drenched desert of California, rippled through the elite locker rooms of the WTA, and exploded into absolute pandemonium in the crowded streets of Manila. If you thought you knew how the script for the BNP Paribas Open at Indian Wells was written this year, you were mistaken. Rip up the script. Throw out the predictions, because the world of tennis just witnessed something truly breathtaking. We are talking about the complete and ruthless dismantling of an immovable object. The World No.3, the ice queen of Kazakhstan, Elena Rybakina, stepped onto the court expecting a routine victory. She is the former Wimbledon champion. She is the reigning Australian Open champion. She is a 6-foot colossus with a serve that routinely shatters the sound barrier and crushes the spirit of her opponents. But waiting for her across the net was not just another player. It was a 20-year-old Filipino phenomenon who is no longer just knocking on the door of greatness. She is kicking it down. Alex Eala just stunned the world. And she did not do it by getting lucky. She did it by walking into the lion's den, staring down one of the most terrifying forces in modern tennis, and methodically, mercilessly taking her apart. To truly grasp the magnitude of what happened today, we have to rewind and set the scene. You need to understand the atmosphere of Indian Wells. They call it the 5th Grand Slam. For a reason. The pressure is suffocating. The air is bone dry, meaning the ball rockets through the air with frightening speed. But when it hits the ground, the rough, high-friction surface of the court grips the ball, making it bounce high and slowing it down just enough to turn every rally into a brutal physical battle. It is a court that demands not just raw power, but supreme tactical intelligence. Going into this match, the tennis purists and the odds makers had completely written Alex Eala off. They looked at the tail of the tape and laughed. On one side, you have Rybakina armed with flat, penetrating ground strokes and a first serve that feels like trying to return a missile. On the other side, you have Eala, a player who has been making a meteoric climb up the rankings, sitting at a career high number 31, but standing significantly shorter and relying on grit, speed, and defense. It looked like a classic mismatch. It looked like a slaughter waiting to happen. But there was an electric current running through the stadium before a single ball was even struck, because Alex Eala did not walk out there alone. You could hear it in the stands. You could feel it in the air. She had a nation behind her. Thousands of passionate Filipino fans packed the bleachers, waving flags, chanting, and creating an atmosphere that felt more like a football stadium than a polite country club tennis match. Eala feeds off that energy, while Rybakina looked completely stone-faced, almost bored by the spectacle. Eala was bouncing on her toes, eyes wide, absorbing the electricity of the crowd. When the first set began, the nightmare scenario for Eala seemed to be unfolding. Rybakina came out swinging with terrifying aggression. Her first serves were routinely clocking in the high 1-teens, painting the lines with pinpoint precision. Eala could barely get her racket on the ball. Rybakina was holding her service games in under 90 seconds. It was a masterclass in first-strike tennis. And when Eala tried to serve, Rybakina was stepping 2 feet inside the baseline, taking the ball ridiculously early and punishing all the second serves with flat, devastating return winners. In the blink of an eye, Rybakina was up a double break. The commentators were already writing a live obituary for the tournament. The crowd quieted down. It looked exactly like the blowout everyone predicted. Rybakina took the first set 6-3, and she looked completely untouchable.
But this is where the story shifts.
This is where a good tennis player becomes a great one. A lesser player would have folded. A younger, less experienced girl would have looked at the scoreboard, glanced at the giant across the net, accepted the loss, and started packing her bags. Not Alex Eala. Between the first and second sets, Eala did not panic. She sat in her chair, put a towel over her head, took a deep breath, and completely rewired her game plan. She realized that trying to match Rybakina's pace was corporate suicide. Rybakina thrives on pace. If you hit the ball hard and flat at her, She simply uses your own power against you, redirecting it into the open court before you can even recover your footing. So Eala decided to stop giving her pace. She decided to drag the Ice Queen into the mud. As the second set began, the tactical genius of Alex Eala was put on full display. When Rybakina served, Eala stopped trying to hug the baseline. She backed up. She stepped so far back, she was practically standing with the line judges in the California desert. This gave her an extra fraction of a second to read the massive serve. She stopped attempting return winners and focused on getting the ball back deep into the middle of the court. And once the rally started, Eala completely changed the geometry of the match. Instead of hitting flat drives, she began rolling heavy looping topspin shots deep into the corners. Because the Indian Wells court is gritty, those heavy topspin balls would hit the ground and kick up violently, jumping right into Rybakina's shoulders. Rybakina is incredibly tall. Her strike zone is naturally lower. When you force her to hit balls up around her neck, she cannot generate that same devastating flat power. Eala forced Rybakina to create her own pace off high heavy balls, and suddenly the unstoppable machine began to malfunction. Rybakina started spraying forehands wide. She began netting her backhands. The frustration on the Kazakh's face became visible, but Eala did not stop there. She twisted the knife. Recognizing that Rybakina's forward movement is the one tiny crack in her armor, Eala began to employ the drop shot with cruel precision. She would pin Rybakina deep behind the baseline with a heavy topspin forehand, wait for her to plant her feet, and then suddenly slice a delicate feathery drop shot that barely cleared the net. The crowd watched in awe as the World No.3 was forced to lunge, scramble, and sprint awkwardly forward again and again. The desert heat combined with these brutal sprints began to drain Rybakina's legs. The giant was breathing heavily. The giant was crumbling. Eala broke Rybakina's serve early in the second set, and the stadium erupted. The Filipino fans sensed blood in the water. Eala rode that wave of momentum, defending like a wall, tracking down impossible shots and frustrating Rybakina into a state of total collapse. Eala took the second set. The match was tied. Then came the third set, a set of tennis that will be studied for years to come. An absolute war of attrition. Both women knew exactly what was on the line. Rybakina even took a medical timeout before the final set, stepping off the court to clear her head and try to cool off the fiery Filipina. When she returned, she looked revitalized. She found her monster first serve again. For the first 6 games of the decider, neither player gave an inch. 3 games all. It was suffocatingly tense. Every single point felt like a championship moment. The turning point, the moment of absolute truth, came with Eala serving at 3-4. Rybakina suddenly unleashed 3 unbelievable return winners in a row. Flat lasers right down the line. She generated a triple break point at love 40. This was it. This was the moment the World No.3 was supposed to assert her dominance, break the underdog serve, and close out the match. The stadium was dead silent, but Alex Eala's veins are made of ice. Down love 40, facing the exit door, she played the service game of her life. First, a massive kick serve out wide that forced an error. 15-40. Then a grueling 25-shot rally where Eala simply refused to miss, covering every inch of the baseline until Rybakina finally cracked and hit a backhand long. 30-40. And on the third break point, something truly unthinkable happened against one of the best returners on the planet. Facing a break point that could end her tournament, Alex Eala served and volleyed. She hit a vicious slice serve out wide, sprinted forward to the net, and calmly put away a forehand volley into the open court.
Deuce.
The crowd lost their minds. It was a stroke of tactical brilliance and pure unfiltered bravery. Eala saved the game. For games all, you could see the fight leave Rybakina's eyes. The mental toll of having that triple break point ripped away from her was too much. In the very next game, Eala pounced. She returned with vicious depth, stepping inside the baseline on the second serve and depriving Rybakina of any breathing room. At 15-40, Eala had double match point on Rybakina's serve. The final rally was a perfect summary of the entire match. Rybakina, desperate, stepped in and hammered a massive inside-out forehand. A shot that would have been a clean winner against 99% of the women on tour. Eala was caught going the wrong way, but she scrambled, skidded completely out of frame on the hard court, and threw up a desperate, towering defensive lob. The ball hung in the air for what felt like an eternity. The entire stadium held its breath. Rybakina camped under it, setting her feet for a high forehand put away. It was the easiest shot she had seen all day, but the pressure, the exhaustion, and the relentless spirit of Alex had completely shattered her focus. Rybakina swung and buried the ball straight into the bottom of the net. Game, set, match, Alex Eala. The second the ball hit the net, Eala dropped her racket. She fell to her knees, burying her face in her hands as the tears began to flow. The stadium erupted into a deafening roar. It was a mixture of pure shock from the tennis traditionalists and overwhelming joy from the Filipino faithful, a nation in tears watching their brightest star achieve the impossible. Rybakina quickly walked to the net, offered a brief handshake, and marched off the court, clearly furious, while Eala stayed behind to soak in the greatest moment of her young career. When you look at the final statistics, the story is crystal clear. Rybakina hit 54 unforced errors. 54. That is unheard of for a player of her caliber. But they were not truly unforced. They were created by the relentless pressure, the tactical variety, and the incredible defensive wall built by Alex. Eala played a remarkably clean match, keeping her own errors incredibly low and winning nearly 60% of points on Rybakina's second serve. This victory is going to send shockwaves through the rankings. Eala is not just knocking on the door of the top 20 anymore. She is tearing the hinges off. But more than the ranking points, this match sends a terrifying message to the rest of the tour. Alex Eala has proven that she can step onto the biggest stages in the world, look the most intimidating players directly in the eye, and outsmart them, outrun them, and outlast them. For Elena Rybakina, this is a bitter pill to swallow. She has to go back to the drawing board before the Miami Open and figure out what to do when her power game is neutralized. But today does not belong to her. Today belongs to the Philippines. Today belongs to a 20-year-old girl who refused to back down. Alex Eala did more than just win a tennis match today. She authored a masterpiece of resilience. She proved that pure power can be beaten by a brilliant mind and an unbreakable heart. The draw has completely opened up for her. Now the question is no longer whether Alex Eala belongs on this stage. The question is who is going to be brave enough to try and stop her? I want to hear from you. Get down in the comments right now. Did you see this legendary upset coming? What was the turning point for you in that incredible second set? And just how far do you think Alex Eala can go in this tournament? Hit that like button if you love seeing underdogs conquer giants.